Hello everyone, it is Wednesday. We are on the 24th of May. My name is Chris. I run Elliott Wave Cafe. Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Stocks. We're going to cover 5 stocks today. I've asked Twitter what they would like to see, so we're going to go over BABA, PayPal, CHWY, DraftKings, and Oracle. And we'll see what the charts are going to tell us. So once again, this is Elliott Wave Cafe. Let's get started. All right, I'm going to begin here with BABA. I've done a video on BABA, I think, at the beginning of April, where I looked at this kind of latest move, and I was, suggesting that it's probably time to kind of look into maybe some bullish moves coming out of the stock. It's creating a nice base in here. When we were doing this presentation, so I think it was around April 12th, we were probably just kind of doing this little swing up high. We were somewhere up here, and I was suggesting that's probably a B wave, and we could probably be doing a C before and kind of create a little bit of a larger base with the right shoulder that was not proportionate enough, what looked to be like at the time. So now we've made another low. I mean, not another low, but another drop in here. And I still think that if you look closely inside the structure, it's probably a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you have maybe a fourth wave forming, and then one more drop. We're probably going to take the 79.48 briefly, and that might complete wave C. Now it doesn't have to. This could still linger a little bit sideways. This could become maybe a B wave triangle of some sort, and then a C wave. So I mean, look at the size of this of this left shoulder in here before you had this major drop. So that's the drop, and then that's the rally. And then since you've done this move, basically if you box this in, that's kind of what you got. So I mean, we're probably just maybe getting closer to that. That's kind of what I'm watching. A very simple left shoulder, right shoulder neckline. We're sitting right here. I would assume that it's maybe 61.8. Let me just do a quick retracement. Yeah, we're just above the 61.8, which rests about 76.82. So maybe that's going to get tagged. If we're starting to attack 78.6, I would start to kind of get worried that this could continue lower. I don't think that's the case. I think, there's a decent chance in here of BABA kind of holding these levels, and I'm going to be looking for it to push higher in a larger, either in a wave C. If that's an A, it doesn't really matter at the moment. We're just looking for kind of the next sequence, after this kind of completes in here. And that could be, you could probably target about 100% at 165, or maybe even a little bit higher. So that's BABA. Let me take a look and see how it looks here on the weekly time frames. You can see it's a flat market. Every time you have a moving average that's not pointing anywhere, right, you're still kind of consolidating. So there's no real appetite here in any direction. But if there is accumulation here near 40 RSI, we seem not to be dropping below these levels. Usually when you start to get bull trends, this holds. So again, I'm looking for these levels back here to offer support in BABA, and see if we can stage a nice bounce out of here. So that's just a quick review on BABA. It's still kind of unfolding. So short maybe move lower, got to stay above 78.6, and then we're going to look to the upside. All right, the next one here is going to be PayPal, which is another stock that it's been going down for I mean, what is it now? More than 2 years, right? And there is no real, we've had a major support somewhere up into these levels, and that got cracked below it. We're trading 61.85. I don't know what's doing, what this company is doing that is so wrong. But that's what the market thinks, right? It's about 61.80. The moving average is still trending lower. They weren't really able to kind of climb back above it. So there is no real momentum, no real excitement to kind of start to turn here for PayPal. And if we take a look at the monthly chart, there is not a lot of support really until you're basically, if you already took this zone, there's not really a whole lot until you're getting back here, which is towards 40. Now, I don't think it's going to go all the way down. It might, but this does look like it's the kind of the final sequence out of a fourth wave. So I'll go ahead and take a look at that here shortly. Let me just punch in PayPal, and you will see what I mean. Basically, I don't even care about this move and how to count it. I don't think that's important at the moment. Clearly, we have to worry about the stock moving lower and when this is going to end, and not what this was. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 with an extended fifth wave. In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down in here. So that's a, you know, very strong move. So and this kind of shows you, you know, how you can, you know, get fooled by this market thinking that, hey, the fifth wave is over, because I mean it could have been finishing right here at about 90, and I looked at the stock back then and I said maybe this is done, and then it continued to push lower, then went up again, and then continued to drop. So again, the trend continues to remain to the downside. But you know, if you look here, you know, I mean, this was clearly the strongest move out of there. So we're gonna say that that's a third wave, and then back here you either have a fourth wave up here in some kind of a truncated, maybe a little C wave in an A, B, up in C. So what we call this a running flat, right? Because this C wave, it's still below the top of the wave A. So that would be a suggestion for a fourth wave, which means that we're doing a wave 1, 2. And then it's still got to do, under this scenario, it's still got to do a little bit of a fourth wave in here. And then one more drop, people will really get scared. Let's say it drops back into the 50 zone, and then you start to reverse higher. So I think it's in the final stages here. But and then if you're thinking of it as being a triangle, then you're looking at this as an A, B, C, D, and with an extended E wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a small move lower, and that would be the end. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and maybe that's done. How we're gonna know? Well, here's how we're going to know. We got to get back above these levels, right? That's 70. So if we get back above that, I think there's a decent chance that the move is done. Also, you know, get a trend line in here, kind of like that. I mean, you can probably copy it and see what happens here. If you start to kind of crack above these levels, start to take this, then it's going to come back, retest it. You want to see this kind of create some kind of a base, just like in BABA, right? Pushing back up higher, left shoulders, right shoulders, and then, you know, move out of there. This might take another, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months. It might be 2024 by the time the stock decides that it's time to do it. So if you are patient and you want to wait through that, right, I don't think it's the perfect time. You know, again, money could be stuck, or again, I'm not here to suggest you what to do. There are several ways to kind of approach this, depending on kind of, you know, how risky you are, you know, how perfect you are with discounting. I don't think, I mean, you know, personally, I like to see a little bit of a reversal from here, and at least, you know, maybe get back above this level before I would start to kind of get a bit more excited. But for right now, there's really not much to do there. So that's on PayPal. And all right, the next one here is CHWY. So let's jump on that. CHWY. Let's put it up on the monthly too, and then we'll see this. I mean, this hasn't really been trading for a whole lot of time. 2019. It's not doing much really. I mean, it's dropped a lot. Up to almost 20 bucks. I mean, what did it come to? Back to the support, back where it kind of started from. I mean, it started from here, came back down. So they find bids at the same levels from 2020, pushed it back up, came back down, went back up, not that bullish, came back down. I mean, could this be an ABC and you're ready to rip higher? I mean, you know, one could make an argument that it is. You know, in my view, it's still kind of in a little bit of trouble. It's still just kind of sideways. I guess, you know, one could go long with very tight stops below this level. That's a pretty good support. It's been holding several times. The price section out of this level is not very bullish. You don't see any strong candles basically on the weekly time frame. You only see this guy back there, and then not much. If I go to a daily, yeah, they kind of pushed out of that support today. So maybe, but you know, I'm not super convinced. So I'm not in a rush to buy it. I'm not in a rush to kind of you know, do anything with it really with CHWY at the moment. Listen, I got 2 cats. I buy from them all the time. You know, I send them a lot of money. My cats eat like crazy. I'm like, what's going on in here? $100, 2 weeks again, then another $100, then it's this, then it's that, then it's the streets, and then you know, I'm gonna tell them, hey, just have dry food from now on, because this wet food, it's very expensive. So, you know, I'm doing my part to help CHWY, but it's not really doing much. Take a look at the, you know, just I mean, without any moving average, without anything, just kind of in terms of counting, you could argue that that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a leading 2, you know, you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So maybe that's an impulse. That's a wave A. That's very choppy. So maybe that is a B wave back there. You know, it's kind of finished up near those highs. So let's say you got an, I'm sorry, that's not an A. Let's say that's a wave 1, right? That's, you got your A, you got your B back there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. I don't even know how to count this in a very clean, let's say, 5-wave move. Maybe it's not over. Maybe it still needs to drop below this level. However, it's very large, right? It's a very large compared with this move, which is not really what you want to see from some kind of a second wave move. So if it is, you know, I guess I'll get excited. Let's put some fibs, and I'll get excited if it breaks maybe above $42, $43, $45. Then maybe I would be more inclined to say, yeah, I think, you know, you may be going down, you know. But for right now, it's not something that's ultra attractive. But this support right here, right, with very tight stops, one could try to get to the long side. Okay, that's CHWY. Now what's next? I got DraftKings. Okay, DraftKings has been a ripper in here, and you can see if I go to a weekly time frame, right, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think what happened here is it was a truncated fifth wave, and you started rally after that, right? Drop in 1, AB clean, beautiful, up in a wave 2. Then a massive drop in a large third wave to below $10, right? This was 977. Then it did an A down in B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave C. That topped the wave 4. Where did it top to? Somewhere in the previous wave 4 area. Comes down here. I think this is some kind of a, it's a bit awkward, but I think this is some kind of an expanding diagonal as it ends into a fifth wave. Usually diagonals, you know, don't really end in a truncated move, but I think that this move was so strong that it really did not have a lot of power to overtake this low. So in my view, my best approach is that this was an ending diagonal in a fifth wave, and then the move higher started from here in a nice impulse in a wave 1 and 2, or in a wave 1, A, B, C, and then we go. That's the tricky part about, you know, pushing in here, and it's impulsive, so it doesn't really look like a B wave. Plus, it's a bit too high, right? Versus this high to have a B all the way up there. I think it's a little improbable. So I would look at it as a 1, 2, and then maybe like another 1, 2 in here, and then see if you can get rallied back. Now you might ask yourself, hey, if you're counting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't that mean that that's an A, B, C, and maybe you're crashing lower? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that this move back here, I mean, this stock is pretty fresh, right? I don't think that this move down here has anything to do with what's going to happen next, right? For all intents and purposes, it could be a B wave, this could be a C, and you could be in some kind of a, you know, large flat. But it doesn't matter. The stock is way too young to assume that you know, you have a direction. I mean, what is this going to go to? -0, right? It really can't. But it's a bit too excited, a bit too extended. Although, if you look at the RSI, it's still trending above 60. I think it still, you know, could have a, you know, quite a bit of power in here. One thing I would watch for would be, you know, maybe from here, just kind of put a 61.8 and see, you know, if you're getting back below 2013, you know, things, you know, that's what I would kind of wait for the wave 2 if we're pulling back from here, you know, just to kind of have a good entry point would be somewhere around $20. But remember, you broke above this level, right? This now here, let me just do this like this, right? This now here, it's going to be a pretty good support, right? 1, 2, 3 times, a little bit of fighting up there. It's at about 50% retrace of this entire move. So if it gets there, you know, what could argue that, hey, you know, maybe you put stops below the swing low and you can continue to move to the upside. It already did a pretty good move. So we moved, what, almost 147% so far. And who's to say that it cannot push higher? I mean, look what NVDA did today. My goodness, you know, that thing is trading 370. By the way, if you haven't seen my NVDA, you know, here, let me just kind of do that really quickly. NVDA. I'm going to put this in just for, you know, kicks and giggles. You know, I was targeting here 335. We obviously pushed higher. I said that, you know, 1, 2, and you know, with targets towards 455. If you watch that video, that's kind of what I was looking. We're trading 390. Okay, new all-time highs for NVIDIA. I mean, what a beauty! What a beauty of not only, you know, not only a company, but a stock and an account that, you know, that trades beautifully high. And I've seen people shorting this thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, based on what? You know, there was nothing there to suggest. I mean, yeah, because you're just a bit extended. But I mean, if you look at the, you know, 150-day moving average here, I mean, look at this thing, right? You're above it. You know, we got no business. I mean, this thing has to create some kind of a top first, and then, you know, start to move back lower. And again, this is, you know, this is the reverse fib. So I think it's going to 475. Okay, not tomorrow, but you know, probably going to come back, check back on this one, retest a little bit, and I think these are some of the targets that could be easily reached, 475 to 540 over the next, you know, year or two. I'm not saying tomorrow. Okay, so that's NVIDIA. Now let me jump to the last one here, which is Oracle. Okay, and let me show you that on a weekly. I don't think this one made a new all-time high. It got pretty close, so just kind of like NVIDIA. That's 106.34, still higher on the weekly time frames. A little bit of a, I'd say, bearish engulfing, but this is just without the week being over. And I've seen patterns like this, you know, in the S&P 500 is one of them. They come like that, and then they turn, and then they go back up higher. So, you know, I would not, you know, necessarily bet on a bearish move on this one. I still think it looks pretty good. Just like in DraftKings, you might have a 1 and 2, maybe another 1, 2 forming, and then you could break higher. Let's take a look at, just take a look right here. So you can see you got your 1, 2. I think that this was a 3, 4, and 5, and that's an ABC down for a wave 2. And then you're pushing higher. The other, I mean, you know, one of the things that it's always a risk here is that that's a B wave, you know, and then you can move lower. But here's the deal. Take a look at this move. Take a look at this move. Right out of here, and then take a look at this move down. Okay, this comes into the 61.8, comes into a previous support. Let's check. Okay, very close to 61.8. Okay, we're on a log scale. We like percentage moves. What is this move here? That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's a diagonal in wave A. That's up in B. And then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a truncated C wave, fifth wave, and you're finishing off an ABC, okay, from those highs. That's a corrective move. And then from there, you're starting to build up. 1, 2, again, like I said, probably a second wave, okay? If you don't like that, maybe that's a 1 and a 2, 1, 2, and then you continue to push. So again, I'm not, you know, I would look at this as a defense zone. If you're getting below 82.08, things could start to look iffy. From 82 to 97, you know, you got, what is this, $15? It's a bit extended. Maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback in here, right? It's quite high, quite elevated. But I think just like in, you know, just like in NVIDIA, this could be a reverse fib out of here. And let me just do it for you. I already have them set up, so I don't have to calculate. But that would be at about 123, 130. That is possible they could travel to, you know, again, over the next, I don't know, rest of the year into next year as target. So pretty impulsive. The other thing you could watch, again, is just a 61.8 of this decline at about 89. You can see that that lines up pretty well with previous, with the breakout line right there. So if we check back in there, you know, then that's possibly what's going to happen. If you like this, guys, don't forget to check out my service, Elliott Wave Cafe, on Substack. Link is below the video. We're doing this every single day. I talk to my members. I provide alerts. We actually got on ORCL today on the drop. I'll show you that. That's been crazy. I mean, I can't wait for tomorrow. Hopefully nothing happens. But I literally send a message to my members right here. At about 1565, we got in. We're trading 1782 in ORCL. Why? Because semiconductors are strong, because it did an ABC nice, because it came into the moving average, because it seemed like a fair place to try it. If you don't try, you're not going to know. And it seemed like a decent pullback. This is after we actually bought it back here. We sold it up at the top. I have all the tickets on this, the way we've been taking profits on this ORCL, and then with the profits we got back and we're pushing to the upside. You know, and I also bought SPXL, which is, you know, the S&P 500. You know, we got that one here. I didn't put that one into the alert room, but I talked about it on Twitter, so check that out as well. So visit me on the Pro Room, give us a try, and leave your thumbs up, your comments, anything else you want to see. We're going to do the same next week, and we're going to talk about more stocks. Until then, you know, have a great one, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.